Dying Light is one of my favorite games. I've probably put like 200 hours or more in the game. I beat the game a handful of times on Nightmare, but never like this. Today I'm going to be putting myself through the torture of trying to beat Dying Light on its hardest difficulty, Nightmare, without leveling up or purchasing any skills. Before I get into the game, let me explain the rules. Number 1, I can't purchase any skills throughout the whole duration of the game. Number 2, no DLC weapons allowed. I can't just use the bow to stealth kill enemies from a range. If I did, this challenge would be way too easy. Number 3, no glitches. If I need to use a glitch to get past a tough section, I'll allow it, but only as a last resort. Now, I can't actually stop myself from leveling up. Every time I complete a quest, climb, or kill an enemy, I'll earn XP for that specific tree. But I won't be grinding out my levels, so I'm going to keep them as low as possible. Skills in Dying Light are essential, and on Nightmare, they're even more important. Zombies on Nightmare take a long time to kill using anything other than guns or environmental kills is a dreadful grind. And using guns will waste what little ammo you have and bring a bunch of virals running your way. In a normal game in Nightmare, you would slowly grind your survival, agility, and power skill trees to unlock abilities that will insta-kill enemies, improve your crafting and movement, unlock new unique powers like camouflage, but during this challenge, I can only kick, use melee weapons or firearms, and only craft a very limited number of tools. I can't use the grappling hook. I can't craft lockpicks or firecrackers. I can't increase my stamina, meaning I can only run a short distance or fight for a short amount of time before becoming tired. There's no health increases, no grapple, no drop kick, no slide, no vault, and most importantly, no dodge. Now that you know everything, let's get into it. The game starts, and after a bunch of exposition, I skydive out of a plane, only to immediately crash land, get my ass kicked, then get bitten by a zombie, and then cause the death of a man who was just trying to help me. So, I'm off to a pretty good start. I wake up, I pass a kid attempting to play soccer on what definitely isn't a league regulation ball, talk to Raheem, and went to go save a man on the 13th floor. Killed my first zombie, apparently it was this dude's brother, but what do I know? I went back to Raheem, met up with Jade. She definitely didn't foreshadow her brother's death.
No explosives, Raheem.
I skipped the parkour basics, which paid off instantly. Are you fucking kidding me? Raheem ends his suffering, and I have my first seizure. I introduced myself to Zaire. He's such a nice man. I hope he doesn't die. Spike made me do some chores, and I cleared my first safe zone. Went to fix the power where I met my first goon. Goons are really stupid, so I was just able to walk right past him. Met a viral who didn't understand what safe zone meant, and I reported back to Spike, who told me Brecken wanted to speak to me. Brecken told us to go find him some airdrops. I didn't feel like doing it, but the game didn't really give me much of a choice. With the first drop empty, I proceeded to the second location. Rice's men had already beat me there. Without a dodge skill or firearms, I had no way of fighting them. So, like the coward I am, I lured them away from the airdrop so I could steal some grenades and pistol ammo. I went to go pick up the free pistol you can find in the southeast part of the slums. It's not like that guy will be needing it anymore. And when I got to the last airdrop, the GRE made me destroy all the life-saving medicine, which probably goes against some code of ethics, but I don't know. Now, this is the first night scene. Usually at this point in the game, you have enough agility skills or firecrackers to kind of get away from the volatiles, so it's not really that hard. But because I can't purchase any skills or craft any firecrackers, I knew this section was going to be a little more challenging than normal. But overall, I'd say it was easy and that I totally didn't freak out running away from the volatiles.
Oh, I almost shit my pants. I don't know why I was so scared of that. I've done this like 20 times.
Without any anti-Zen, I was forced to make a deal with Rise. I would have footage of my first scene with Rise right here, but my shitty laptop overheated and the video file was corrupted. I encountered my first Toad, and for those of you who have never played on Nightmare, Toads can either do 30 damage or about 85. And because I can't unlock skills that increase my health pool, Toads can easily one-hit kill me. So anytime I'm in a fight with them and other enemies, I'm going to focus on taking out the Toads first. I climbed both antennas and made my way back to Rise. He seems trustworthy and sane. Extorted an old man and encountered my first bomber. Bombers are pretty easy to deal with. They have a sound cue that lets you know when they started their exploding animation, so if I listen for that, I can easily run away from them without taking any damage. fought my first human enemy with a gun and got killed really fast. Usually in Nightmare mode, when fighting enemies with guns, you would drink a resistance booster, but because I can't unlock the skill to craft them, enemies with guns can kill me in just a few seconds, making them extremely challenging for this run. After killing that guy, I stole his rifle, made my way back to Rise, where I learned maybe he isn't so trustworthy. I still can't tell if he's a good guy or not. Maybe he gets nicer? Made it back to the tower and learned about the loss on the 18th floor. Brecken seems pretty upset about it.
I can't fucking compete!
Raheem ended his suffering again, felt really good about my melee weapon skills, and then immediately felt really bad about my melee weapon skills. Heard maybe the worst or best joke in the game, I still can't decide.
Look, I don't know. No place is really safe from a zombie.
There is one particular place in the house that is safe.
Oh, no shit.
Yes, it's a room. And what is it called?
The panic room.
No!
So what is it called then?
The living room.
Met up with Jade by the school and prepared to enter. Oh yeah, Kyle, check that guy's pulse. It's not like you just saw him get shot in the neck or anything. Tried to do a speedrunning trick and died. Sometimes it's very humbling to remind yourself how bad you are at video games. Got into the school and had my first real fight with Rice's men. When fighting Rice's men, you would normally wait for them to strike, evade their attack with a dodge, and then attack them while they're recovering, but I don't have that luxury during this run. I could try to backpedal away from their dodge, or kick to stun them, but both of these things would really only work half the time. So majority of these fights just end up with me slowly eating away at their health as they kill me over and over and over again. I didn't want to use my guns on Rice's men at this point because of my limited ammo, plus I couldn't purchase ammo at traders yet, but eventually I gave in and started blowing off heads and throwing bombs. That made it a whole lot easier to get the basement keys. I met back up with Jade. She called me an oaf.
But Crane, you're such an oaf.
That hurt my feelings. You know, my mother was an oaf and I take offense to that. Fought the rest of Rice's men and I didn't even die once. I died multiple times, like 5 or 6 times. Saw a bolter kill one of his own.
The fuck? Did that guy throw him? What?
Headed to the overpass to help Raheem and his friend. I forgot his friend's name. It doesn't matter, he's dead anyways. Learning that Raheem did not take his sister's warning
No explosives, Rahim.
and had tried to use explosives to clear nearby hive. With Raheem's leg scratched up, it's totally not a bite one, guys. He would not lie to me like that, come on. I was the one that had to go blow up the building. It took me 3 tries. Probably would have taken me 2 if I hadn't got insta-killed by this goon busting down the wall in front of me. Swam back to Raheem, opened up the train door to see that Raheem wasn't feeling the best. Turns out that scratch on his leg was worse than he thought, so I helped him take a nap. Punched a train because it rhymes with crane, even though the endings of both of those words are not spelt the same. Before I headed back to the tower to continue the main story, I decided to complete the only side quest for this run. The quest is Dahlia's Cloak Potion, and for those of you that don't know, it's a 4-part quest in which you hunt down special zombies and are awarded with the blueprint to craft the Cloak Potion. The Cloak Potion allows you to become invisible for about 15 seconds, which makes it very useful for certain areas in the game. 3 out of 4 parts are pretty easy anyways. Grab some mushrooms, kill a bomber, and kill a bolter. But the second step, where you are tasked with killing a goon, was extremely difficult. Goons are already a tough enemy, but on Nightmare, they one-hit kill you, and without dodge, there's no way to avoid their massive swings. And to make it even more difficult, the goon I found was surrounded by 2 toads. After dying a few times and playing hide and seek with the toads, I was finally able to kill both of them, leaving only the 8-foot-tall, ugly, rebarbed swinging goon left. His massive range with his melee weapon meant I was getting hit a lot. When I started this fight, I had 18 medkits. When I finished, I only had 2. Even though I was using the best pro gamer strats I could think of, I kept dying. I must have hit him 100 times with my melee weapon, but the giant still didn't fall. I then realized he must be gaining some health back every time I die, meaning the only way for me to kill him was to take out large portions of his health before dying. Unfortunately, I was doing the exact opposite, dying a lot and only taking out a little bit of his health each time. Time went on, I died again and again and again. Almost all of my weapons had run out of durability, and as far as I could tell, the goon still had a large amount of health left. I didn't want to use my rifle on him because I was not sure how many bullets it would take, and I only had 19 bullets on me, which I was planning to save for Rice's men before entering the pit. but the goon broke me. After 33 minutes and 8 deaths, I gave in. I decided to use my rifle, even if that meant wasting all my ammo. I just couldn't take it anymore. I lined up my shot and prepared to dump a whole clip of ammo into his skull. To my surprise, it only took 3 headshots. I could have saved over half an hour if I just used my rifle in the first place. I was a little upset. Are you fucking kidding? It's like 4 shots. Anyways, I returned to Dahlia and completed the Cloak Potion quest. I'll take a break from the story to tell you guys the strategies I've been using so far. To help save on medkits, I would always rest at the nearest safe zone. This would automatically heal me. I would rarely fight enemies outside of those in main missions, and always try to loot as much as I can while running in between objectives. If an airdrop landed near me, I would run to get it. The medkits and flares inside were really useful. The flares specifically really helped me out at the end of the run. You'll see in a bit. But I would not turn in the drops. This is because I was trying to keep my survival level as low as possible. Every time your survival level goes up, weapons you can loot or buy increase in damage, but so does enemy health. So at level 1, you find pipes that do 20 damage, and at level 24, you find swords that do 1000 plus. Yet it takes the same amount of time to kill enemies. With this in mind, there are 2 main strategies I can do. Get to a max level so I won't have to worry about my current weapon's damage becoming obsolete, or stay at a low level and use weapons that drop with a scripted damage, like Tahir's sword or the guns that Rice's men will drop. I chose to stay at a low level for 2 reasons. 1, to stay true to the challenge, and 2, so I wouldn't have to grind max survival rank. The guns that Rice's men had dropped in the early game ended up staying strong for the whole run because of this. So once I get to the point I'm able to buy ammo, or I have a large amount of ammo on me, I'm basically only going to be using guns. Unless it's a boss fight, like in the pit or Tahir, where all my equipment is removed. When doing research for this video, I learned that no one else had discovered this health boost thing, so I'll put my math word in the description if you want to take a look at it. Also, if you guys are finding this video interesting, or I made you laugh like even once, I'd really appreciate a like on the video. I like making videos like this, and I'd like to do more of it, and it really helps my channel grow. And hey, if you feel like it, you can subscribe too. I plan to put up more videos like these anyways. Both are free, and they really help me out a lot. Jade runs away after hearing about Raheem's death. Oh, hi Brecken, you want a kiss? And I proceeded to save Zara. I get to this trailer and started fighting some of Rice's men. This area was pretty easy because I could just kick Rice's men into the fire for an instant kill. I did have to play Ring Around and Rosie with a dude that had a gun. Somehow he lost track of me. I guess Rice's men don't have object permanence.
Where the hell is this guy? It was somewhere around here.
He still killed me though, so. Brecken wanted me to go chase off Zara right away, but I'm a pussy who's scared of the dark, so Zara can wait till morning. Got to Rice's garrison, stealthed my way in, thought about fighting these guys hand to hand like a real man. But remember, I'm a pussy. Got to the basement and slowly shot every guy on my way to Zare. Shooting sections like these are pretty easy, they just take time. I can really only pop out of cover to shoot enemies when they are doing the same. Save Zare, but surprise, it was a trap. Now I'm like 85% sure Rice is not a good guy. Woke up in the pit, punched Rice, and started killing some zombies. The game gives you lots of ways to kill zombies here with the environment, so it's not a tough section at all. The roided out cop spawns. Also, a side note, how did his armor get so big? Like, I get he got big because of the virus, so did the armor grow with him? Or when he was a normal dude, was he wearing a chest piece that was like way too big? Whatever. This fight's pretty easy anyways. The Demolisher runs out of stamina or will stun himself, so it's pretty easy to get hits in. After 5 minutes, he was dead. Rise lost his hand, and I began the running section of the pit. On Nightmare, this section's already difficult because of how much damage guns do to you, but without any stamina, it was even harder. What the fuck was that? Luckily, it only took me about 4 tries to get through. Left the pit and passed out climbing a fence, talked to the saviors, and made my way to the sewers. Not much to say about the sewers. I got a shotgun, which was cool. I used some firecrackers to pass by a goon easily. And without the grappling hook, I had to parkour everything and play the game as intended, which was like, come on, kind of annoying. Fought Rice's men and made it to Old Town. Met the Embers, ran out of stamina midair, met up with Michael to blow up an apartment building. This mission was pretty easy. I used the cloak potion to sneak past zombies, and the rest of them I just shot. Saw a lost child, got so annoyed by the child's whining, I decided to let out my inner Anakin and murder the kid. It's his fault. He's a grown toddler. He should know better than to scream inside. Got out of the building and watched it explode. Went to go meet up with Jade, only to discover that she had been kidnapped. Good, that's what she gets for ditching me back in the slums. I didn't want to rescue her, but once again, the game didn't really give me much of a choice, so... Swam underneath the museum, almost drowned, fought my way through ways of Rise's men. Once again, these parts are pretty easy, they just take some time. Was about to enter the last room in the museum when I saw this zombie that was stuck on the floor. Got to Jade, fought some zombies, and started to trip out. Jade had a really bad trip, so I helped her take a nap. Attempted a glitch here, I'll explain more of that in a second, and started the fight with Tahir. This was the hardest part of the whole run. This Tahir fight is always tough, but without the ability to dodge or to stun lock him with power attacks, I was fucked. Tahir fights like a normal human enemy, but his attacks are faster, do more damage, have a larger range, and his AI is more aggressive. Unlike the Demolisher, Tahir won't get tired and can both evade or block attacks, meaning even if I get the chance to hit him, I might not do damage to him. The only positive thing about this fight is that his health loss will carry over upon my death, meaning the number of times I died didn't really matter. The deaths would just like add more time to my run. So if the fight is actually just easy, it just takes a long time, there should be like no issue here. But that's not the problem. The problem with the Tahir fight was weapon durability. See, when you start the fight with Tahir, all your weapons and gear are removed from your inventory. You're left with just one machete. There are 2 bags you can loot. They're supposed to have 2 weapons in them, but sometimes it's not guaranteed you get one in each bag. Without any metal parts to repair broken weapons, my only choice to be able to continue doing damage is to dismantle one of my 3 weapons. And if I did that, that meant I only now had 2. So eventually, you end up running out of weapons to dismantle and metal parts to use. So, conserving my weapon durability was the most important thing in this fight. If I missed a swing, hit Tahir, hit a wall, or the enemy blocked my attack, that would count as a use and lower the weapon's durability. With this in mind, there's a good chance I could become soft-locked in this fight. If I ran out of weapons and Tahir's health was still high, there'd be no way for me to defeat him. Because of this, I performed a glitch right before starting the fight. While the cutscene of Jade napping, is playing, there's a 10-second window before the fight starts in which you can access your inventory and drop items on the ground to use against Tahir. So in case I got soft locked, I want to drop myself a shotgun and some ammo. But for some reason the ammo I dropped never spawned. So even though I had a shotgun in my inventory, I didn't have any bullets and I couldn't use it. During the Tahir fight, when he gets to about half health, 4 human enemies are supposed to spawn. These enemies allow the player to get more weapons and metal parts, allowing the boss fight to continue with plenty of resources to kill Tahir. Unfortunately for me, they didn't spawn. The game must have glitched, and without Rise's men, I eventually ran out of weapon durability, and when I did, there was nothing else to do but die. So, I quit the game and restarted the fight, and on my second attempt, Rise's men spawned. I continued the fight with Tahir after taking out the lower level enemies with plenty of weapons to kill him. It was still difficult to do without dodging his attacks, but using some pro gamer strats, like standing on the other side of this island, or making Tahir get stuck in between this wall and this pillar, I was able to finally kill him. It took me an hour and 15 minutes, 67 deaths, and 2 restarts to finally kill him, and man did it feel good. By far, hardest fight I have ever had playing Dying Light. Next mission was the antenna. The trek through the sewers was easy, and so was getting the keycard. I had to turn the power on at the base of the antenna, but the area was overrun by bombers, goons, virals, and more. So once again, I embraced my inner coward, like a real man, and drank a cloak potion so I can easily enter the substation without fighting any of these guys. The climb itself was easy. I got to the top of the antenna and called off the firebomb. Unfortunately, my suffering will not end today in the warm, motherly embrace of a napalm strike. Soon it will be over. Exited through the volatile-filled tunnels, thought I was safe from them, and decided to teach this guy how to use a door. He is still struggling with it. But soon his friend showed up and I ran for my life. Got back to Old Town and headed to Camden. Nothing really happened this mission. I was able to use my guns the whole way through, so I didn't have any issues. Met Camden and left the lab. Now it's time for the last mission of the game, Extraction. Rise taunted me over the phone and I decided to go teach him a lesson. When I arrived at his base, before entering, I decided to check my stats to prove to you all I still had no skills. Got inside, Kyle told Rice what we've all been thinking.
Would you just shut up?
Ran from some zombies, fell down a hole, killed another child, but this time before he started screaming. Because of my lack of stamina and fear of being eaten alive, I had preemptively saved flares for this very part of the run. Throwing flares every few seconds made this chase pretty easy. Got this cool action shot, and watched all the Volatiles kill themselves. Rice quoted Andrew Ryan for the 9th time this game.
Played by slaves. Perfect for a slave.
I think the writers really liked BioShock. Met Kareem, he then took a nap. Tried to end my suffering with the C4, but it did not work. Oh god, when will it end? Tried the crane run and died, tried again, and I barely made it. Got up to Rise and began the end sequence. At this point, I'm like 99% sure that Rise is the villain of the story, but you know, still not like 100%. This last fight's super easy anyways. It's just a few quick time events, and then... Alright, let me try that again. Like I said, this part's easy. I just have to have the ability to read, and I shouldn't fail. I finally got it on my third try. Yes, it took me 3 tries, not more than 3. I didn't edit out all the other times I died. Don't ask me for proof. Kyle told Rice what we were all really thinking.
Will you just shut the fuck up?
Rice fell off the tower, and I completed the challenge. So guys, I did it! I beat Dying Light on Nightmare with no skills. This challenge was hard, but not impossible. It was pretty fun to do, and if you need a reason to play the game again, attempting it like this is fun. And if you're a real Macacist, you can try this challenge, but without firearms. My stats at the end of the run were Survival level 11, Agility level 6, Power level 9, total playtime 9 hours and 56 minutes, total deaths 100 plus, and times I wanted to end it, 2. Before I end the video, I just want to give a quick shout out to both AussieGG and Operation Texas. After filming the gameplay footage for this, I discovered both these guys had actually already done the same challenge. So I'll throw the links to the videos in the description. Check those guys out, they're both dope Dying Light YouTubers. If you guys enjoyed the video at all, I would love it if you could leave a like, a comment, or even subscribe. It really helps my channel grow, and I want to continue putting videos like this out. If you have any ideas for challenges you'd like me to do, just drop them in the comments. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Much love. Oh my god, my voice cracked.
Oh my god, stop, bro, I'm stuck. Can you help?